I often forget that I have lived many lives in my life. And tonight, largely because I am working on a script set in the late 1990s, I thought back to my own life in the late 1990s when I was in my early 20s and an obnoxious fucking punk. Arguably, I may still be an obnoxious punk, just a middle aged one. But back then, I was a film critic writing online film criticism at a time when doing so was akin to being a leper or possibly a registered sex offender. I mean, I can't tell you folks how much of a stigma there was against online film journalism or online journalism in general in the late 1990s. And I thought back to a number of people who I knew back then, some of whom have disappeared, some of whom have gone on to great careers and have become writers or filmmakers. In the case of Wesley Morris, that guy was in the fucking room with me. He's gone on to win fucking 2 Pulitzers. Uh, More than Ebert. He was there. I was there with him. And I wrote film criticism. I would basically see every conceivable movie I could do. I had an arrangement with my day job where I negotiated to take like 2.5 hour lunch breaks because the screening room was literally just down the fucking street from my workplace. And my employer at the time was very nice about it because they knew I was a creative person. I brokered that fucking deal, and that was a sweet sort of situation. So I would go on my lunch hour to see a movie, my lunch break, and then I'd stay a little longer. That was the deal. And using this particular system, I would see all the movies, the press screenings, and then on Wednesday or Thursday night, I would be writing 3 or 4 thousand words that fucking night with a fucking overflowing ashtray of cigarettes. I smoked like almost a pack or two that every time I did that. It's crazy. It's crazy. My old roommate Tom can back me up on this. I brought him along to a lot of the film screenings. I brought a lot of my friends along too. A lot of the friends I made in film school went with me to these screenings. And, I was thinking about this life and I decided I'm wondering what my writing was like because I was in my early 20s. What the fuck did I know? I'm a much better writer now. And I was reading this stuff tonight, and I'm like, this is actually pretty good. I'm actually surprised with how good it is for some fucking obnoxious 24-year-old. I mean, like really good grounding in film history and literary references. A really effective way of conveying the actual experience. I think that in a weird way, my film criticism back then was a little better than my later film criticism, which I practiced a little bit in the 2010s, simply because you know, I was learning on the job, so to speak. And I'm wondering what I should do with all this writing. The website that I wrote for is no longer around, but I was able to access it through Web Archive. Should I publish all of this film criticism? Would you be interested in even reading it? Is there even a fucking audience for some punk in the fucking late 1990s chronicling like the scene from about, I think, 97 through 2003? That's when I was doing this. I don't know. Would you guys be interested in reading this? Roger Ebert was careful to make sure his entire oeuvre was available online. And I'm wondering if I should do the same thing, or is this maybe looking back and not looking forward? I don't know. You guys tell me. Would you read my shit? Is there anyone who would read my fucking shit?